Alrighty, YouTube, and welcome back to Fern Valley Farms YouTube channel, where on this channel we are pure country, along with all our beekeeping. And that's what today's movie or video is on beekeeping. I am making a couple of 5-frame nukes. I just want to show you guys how I build them. I'm going to try and next winter, overwinter a nuke and see how it goes. When I do my splits in the spring, I'm going to put one of my splits in the nuke and do it that way. Bees do better in small areas. You can kind of see the mess I got behind me here. I got a lot going on trying to get stuff ready. Over there, I've already did a movie. Those are my screened candy boards, I call them. Or like right now, I've got them outside with the sugar cakes on them. I've got pollen patties. They're going to come in really handy in the spring with the pollen patties. Instead of putting them on the frames, you put them right in the in that. But I did a movie on that. If you go back and check through some of the videos, you'll see it. And I'm going to build my own inner covers also. But my whole point to this is bees do better in small spaces. Actually, these aren't my inner covers. These are going to be dividers. What I did last year when I made my splits, instead of I didn't have any 5-frame nukes, so I just used the deep box, which are right here that I built. I did a movie on this. And what I did is I took some 2-inch foam, the stuff that I used on my insulated inner covers, and I made dividers with that. I put the 5 frames. When I did my split, I put the frame of honey, the frame of comb, frame of nectar, eggs, and 2 frames of honey, nectar, comb, and egg. So I had 5 frames in there. I put the foam on either side, so that 10 frame turned into a 5 frame, and I kept it that way till they built up, and then I opened it up, and the bees started spreading. So I'm just going to build a couple of 5-frame nukes. I'll show you guys how I build them, and when I do my splits, I'm going to put them in that. So here again, it's no different than the supers or the deeps. The dimensions are the same, except the width is obviously not as wide as a deep or a super. I took my own measurements. I took 5 frames. I took 5 frames. I put them in a deep box. I lined up 5 frames and I measured, and that's kind of how I got my dimension. I kind of looked online too at some of the companies that were selling and what their dimensions were, and for some reason they were a little bit different. So, I mean, obviously this isn't rocket science. Take your 5 frames, build your box to fit your 5 frames. That's what I'm doing. So here again, I just take just like I did in the previous video on my router, I made my edge. I don't have a frame here. I routed the edge with a 3/4 inch bit, so the frame sits right on there. There's enough bee space above when the frame sits on. I took this measurement off a store-bought deep box. This way I had the exact measurement. I got a couple of store-boughts, so I took the measurement off of that. So just like we did in the previous videos, we just take the nails, get them started. Remember, if there's any knots, don't nail into a knot, because if you try and nail into one of these knots, this is just the regular construction lumber. This isn't the quality. So it's got knots, but I like the knots. The wood's a little bit cheaper, obviously, but it's nice. As long as when you buy, you look at it this way, make sure it's straight, you're good. But if there's a knot there, don't nail into it because it will split. So these are going to go just like that. Let me just put this on here. I do 2 nails to start. Make sure it's all lined up. Sit there before it gets hot, or cold, I should say. Yeah, today it's like freezing rain, snowing. It's January, so it's a good day to be down here building this stuff. Like I said, this little template I built works really well. It's the exact height to where you go like that. It holds it all nice and straight for you, see? So we will take this, get my glue here again, the Title Bond. This premium Title Bond wood glue, this stuff is really nice. This works really well. It's waterproof, and when this stuff grabs, it grabs. So I'll put your glue up here. Get your board straight. I always get a little bit of glue on the outside, which is fine. I like taking that and smoothing that out. Like I said, when this stuff dries, it grabs really well. So make sure your first corner is square. Tap it. Like I said, I always wipe off the excess glue, just kind of smear it. Just gives a little bit extra strength. There. Turn it around. And take your other board. I usually look to see, make sure my boards are straight. I'll look down and make sure it's straight. Sometimes I'll put the nicer side on the outside. So when I'm painting it, it'll give it a better coat of paint. I got a lot of painting to do coming up. Alright, let's put this here. Just like that. Make sure you're square, you're square on the bottom. Because obviously this is the bottom box. If you got a little bit of a gap, it's okay. Your hive tool will fit in there. But you don't want too big of a gap, because obviously you don't want robbing. The bees will propolize any gaps that they see. Get this here. There you go. See how nice that is? It just slides right out. Here again, a bunch of scrap wood, works out perfect. Bring it over. I like to run my finger down the middle. Just kind of smooth out the glue on the inside. Like I said, when this stuff grabs, it grabs pretty hard. So now, here again, I'm going to tell you this because obviously I've done this. You got your top edge here where your frame sits. Make sure this side's the same. I've done this before. I put it together, glue, I'm like, oops. Got to pop it apart. And one nice thing about this glue, when you do glue this, if there's a mistake or something's not right, you got to pop it apart. If you just take like your box and turn it upside down and just take your hammer and just pop it, it'll snap right loose. Nothing breaks, it comes right loose. But always make sure you got the right groove here and the right groove there, because obviously I've done that. Let me start my nails here. This out of the way. And there's a knot there, but it's in the middle of the board. I like to start the nails this way. When you set them on, when you get that set on your box, if you're trying to start your nail, your board's going to be sliding around and your glue is going to be messed up all over the place. So if you start your nail, and these nails are number 6 sinkers is what these are. Menards, you know. But the number 6s work really well. They give yourself a good enough bite. So there. So now we're going to take, I always do one bead of glue first on one side. Put it on. Make sure we're flush. Tap it. And I just pull it apart just a little bit. Here again, a little bit of glue, lift it up. I always lift it up and then set it on. This way you don't smear the glue all over the place. Make sure you're flush at the bottom. If you cut all your wood on a miter box, 9 out of 10 times you're going to be running out of money. Sometimes you're a little out of adjustment, and what I'll do, like when I do my deeps and my supers, and I've showed it, I'll compare it to like a store-bought one that's got those finger joints. And it's almost perfectly square. And there you go. There is your 5-frame nuke. Your 5-frame deep nuke. Real easy to build. I don't have the frames. Let me grab one frame. Hold on. I should have had this ready. Grab a deep frame. I'm coming. Don't want any dead air time here. Got my 5-frame. My 5-frame. Deep. It's right in the box. Beautiful. Look at that, huh? Right in the box. Okay. And And that's measured perfectly for 5 frames. So there you go. That's all there is to it. And I don't have them handy, which I should have, but I'm going to take some of my scrap. I don't know if I have a piece cut here or not. And I don't. I'm going to take my scrap. Actually, I can do this really fast here. If I take one of them, when you're cutting your boards, when you buy your lumber, and like I've said in previous videos, if you buy you need a 1x12 to make a deep, okay? If you buy a 1x12x12, that will build you 2 boxes. Or a 6-foot board will build you 1 box. But you need a 1x12, but the dimension for a 1x12 for the deep is not quite 12 inches. What is it? It is 9 3/4, and same as this one, yeah, 9 3/4. But you need a 1x12 because a 1 by 10, not a 1x12, a 1x12. I got it right. I got so many different projects going on right now. I'm trying to keep all this stuff straight. You need a 1x12, and you're gonna have extra to cut off. Well, you take this extra cut off, and you make handles out of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm not sure if this was the exact piece or not. I've got so much scrap. Yep, that's it right there. See, a 1x12 board is actually 11.5 inches. It's not 12 inches. Here's your cutoff. So if that was on the board, there's your 1x12 right there. When you shave this down, here's your extra trim. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take, this is 18 inches, so roughly somewhere 18 and 18, obviously 9. I'm going to make this about 18 or 9 1/4, something like that. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to take to my miter saw. I don't know if you can see this over here or not. I'm going to put this on here. These dimensions don't have to be perfect. These are just your handles. So what I'll do is I'll turn my box upside down. I'll center this. You can measure at the center, and I've done this enough times now where I can pretty much eye it up. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put a little glue. Obviously, these boxes aren't going to be as heavy as a 10 frame deep, but you still obviously you need something to grab hold of. Let me grab the nails. These smaller nails are number 4 sinkers. It's a little bit shorter nail. If you use a 6, like I'm putting the box together, you do that, so it's going to pop through your board. And obviously you don't want that. But a number 4, it won't. So what I'll do, I'll let that sit right there. I'll flip it over. I will look underneath here, kind of get an idea where it's at. And I just moved it. I always take the nail, get it started straight. Make sure it's on there right. Now, these are a little bit harder to get into because the box isn't as big. There's your handle. Real easy, see? It's a little off. But that's fine. There's your handle. Turn it around. Yeah, these are a little tougher to get into because they're not as wide. A little bit of glue. That's why I never throw your scrap away. And I've been doing so much building. All my scrap back there, I don't know if you can see it all back here, I've got it kind of lined up. It's going fast because for handles, for some of my screen inner covers, for the insides, and here we go, that's all on a video. All that scrap comes in really handy. When you got a table saw and a miter box, you can shave this stuff down to anywhere you want. Get that centered. Put that right there. Don't move. It's hard not to move this. There. Not bad. Set it down carefully. Because when the glue is on it, when you turn it over, it's going to move. It slides. I always double check to make sure I didn't pop out the side or to miss, you know. There. That one actually moved on me a little bit. Let me see what this one looks like. I drive myself nuts sometimes. I want this stuff exactly perfect. So I am going to pull that. I don't like that. No, I can't even get into it. That's all right. It's fine. I drive myself nuts sometimes trying to be exactly perfect. There, there's your handle, see? Just put your scrap on there and glue it so it's on nice and tight. Now you've got your handle for your nuke. And there's your 10-frame nuke. Or I'm sorry, your 5-frame nuke. Really simple. That's it. I am going to, when I make these dividers, like I said, I'm going to do all my splits in the spring here, which will get here before you know it. Even though it's January, it's cold, it's freezing rain today. It'll be here before you know it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to build, instead of using the foam, I'm going to actually build dividers that are permanent. And I'm going to build them with, I've got 1/4 inch, but I'll do a video on it. I've actually got some 1/4 inch OSB that I'm going to use. And I'm going to cut these ain't cut the size yet, but these will be cut. I'm going to miter the top. Like, and so it'll sit in there real nice, and you just kind of pull them in, in and out, and there's your dividers. And then they'll just stay in really good shape, and anytime you need a divider, because I'm not going to build a whole bunch of 5-frame nukes, I'll have a few, but I'm just going to keep I'm just going to do my splits mostly in my 10-frame box, because the bees are going to stay in there. So once I divide it, or once I do the split, put the dividers in there, as they grow, pull the dividers out, put more frames, and that's their new home. So, but I want to have a few of these to kind of play around with too. But I'll do a video soon here on these dividers. They'll work out really well. So I think that is it. Any questions, comments, please ask. Like I said, take the measurements, take your 5 frames, put them in here, put your 5 frames in, and do your measurement. And you'll, like I said, this one, I can tell you right now, the whole width of this thing, the inside is 7 3/8. 7 3/8 wide. With the lip, it's 19 1/8. Inside is 18 1/4, 19 1/8. Inside here is 7 3/8 almost. Outside 9 inches, 9 by 19 7/8. So why, when they built, like I keep saying, when they built all these, whoever invented the Langstroth, when they invented those boxes, why they didn't make them even numbers and make these frames, I don't know. But it's just how it is. So we just got to go with it, right? So anyway, like I said, please, any questions, comments, leave them below. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. Support it. There's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Click that bell. You will get an email, a notification on your phone, whatever, next time I make a video, and there's plenty to come. Plus, check out my other videos on the channel, too. There's more than just the beekeeping now. It's like I said, we're all pure country now. I've actually got some music videos on there that I've kind of put on just for, you know, just put some videos on there. But I've got I got some farm-related stuff, and plenty of beekeeping videos to come. So, until next time, YouTube, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.